So tonight, I want to talk to you about an incident that I heard about some years ago when I was growing up when I was a child. Um, you know, lots of people leave home and they go abroad and they work very hard and they save their money and they send it home to a family member to take care of matters. Sometimes it might be building a house, sometimes it might be starting a business, sometimes it's just savings. But when they come, they can do whatever it is that they want to do. So, of course, I heard a story about a gentleman in St. Mary when I was a child. And I remembered it the other day and I wanted to talk about it. So I called somebody who I knew lived in St. Mary at the time. That would be my contemporary. And the person actually knew the man. Can you imagine? Yes. So the story goes that he had married a woman. They might have had children because I didn't get all the details. But he had gone abroad. I think he went to England to work. And he worked for a number of years and he was sending home the money for to build the house. And he was getting pictures so he would see what the house looks like and that kind of thing. And so things went on for a while until it was time for him to come home. And then when he came, his wife was there, and I think another visiting gentleman was in the picture. But the worst part of it was that there was no house to show, and there was no money saved, not even a cent. Now, can you imagine? No house, no money, and someone else is having a good time with his wife, perhaps. Well, he lost it and he sharpened up his machete and he took off her head and he took it to the police station and left it. And I guess, they went through the procedures for him to be arrested and stuff like that, but he eventually got off on the premise of temporary insanity. Now, I can't judge this man because I don't know what he felt. All I know is that he had been working for years and he was looking forward to coming home to a house that he thought had been built. And his heart was set on getting into this house and then to come to find that there is no house. And to add insult to injury, there is not even a penny. And he had worked hard and apparently trusted someone to send this money to for this person to build the house. And then there's no money to show for it. And there's no house. And then somebody else in the picture. So, he got off of it. I wondered about it and I said to myself, the person that was getting the money that was supposed to build the house, what was going through this person's mind? How did they think that they would get around it? Because eventually the gentleman would come home. How do you plan to get around it? What do you plan to say? What do you plan to do? Because if there is no money and there is no house and you are sending pictures to show house and all of that and progress, what you just thought that you could say, I use the money and stuff like that. Like when I was in school and I got my school fee and I was to have paid it and I didn't pay it and I used up the money and I had to go back home to get school fee. The man went insane temporarily, and it is understandable, but so sad, so sad, very sad. So sometimes when people are planning to go abroad to work, to earn money, to do things, you have to be very careful how you send your money to whom and how it is being taken care of, because when people get money in their hands, it is hard for them to keep still. They will use up your money. And when you think about how hard you had to work and what you came looking forward to, it's not there, it could drive you insane. I had a relative who had been abroad working for maybe about 3 or so years, and all the money that was worked was saved and sent to her daughter to be put in the bank for when she came home and was ready for it. And when she came home and had settled in for a few days, she decided to go to the bank. And her daughter lived at the same place, and she never said to her, you know, I used up the money and that kind of thing. And when my relative went to the bank, there was absolutely nothing, and she was stunned. And she asked them over and over, and there wasn't anything. So she got out of there and she was in a daze. And when she was on her way home, I don't know how she managed. Maybe somebody took her, somebody who knew her, took her to a point, because like she would have to walk the rest of the way to go down to the house. And another relative heard her, and the sound that she heard coming from her, she knew something was terribly wrong. And she had to go get her, take her to the house, stay there and pacified her. And you know, she said she thought she was going to die. If she wasn't there, my relative would have died. Both of them are my relatives. But she overcame with a lot of talking and comfort and all of that. And the young woman didn't get into any major trouble, because maybe because it was a woman, her mother, so she didn't do anything as drastic as that, but it was heart-rending. She almost lost it. She nearly had a heart attack, but she she survived. So you know, sometimes when you hear some stories about how people do evil things to people, sometimes it depends on what triggered it. I'm not condoning anything of that nature, but I'm just saying that sometimes when you are really hurt and sometimes things overcome you and you just react in a crazy way, because really and truly you go temporarily insane. Yes. And the lawmakers, they understand, and sometimes they have to bring in psychologists and psychiatrists to ensure that you're not pretending, but to see to it that whatever justice is to be meted out is meted out correctly. So it is to say that you were temporarily insane. That was not premeditated or anything. And so we ought to be very careful. So when somebody is allowing you to take their monies and to do whatever it is with it, you have to be very careful. And also the person who is allowing you to have the money to take care of. If you're being steward, you have to be honest. And if you are asking somebody to be a steward for you, you have to know who you're asking to be steward, because it really could throw you into a spin. Yes, just saying. So remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment if you will, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.